Drop top.
Climate change is non-stop.
The biggest issue that millennials will face is the environment. Due to insane weather storms causing billions of dollars in damages and concerning future problems, millennials will face this major issue in the near future. With proper resource management and conservation of those resources, millennials will preserve. The Earth's temperature is rising and causing ice to melt, and the ocean is getting warmer. 2016 has been the hottest year since 1880. Extinction of many species is in our future if we don't change. If global warming does not stop or at least slow down, we are not going to have our beautiful world. We walked around Clackamas High School and we asked a couple students and staff members of what they thought on global warming. And so this is what we have found.
I think climate change is one of the most serious issues in our country right now because, you know, it's so hard to prevent at this point, and everything we're doing in terms of industrial progression is just making it worse in terms of CO2 emissions.
And the last question, what is the Paris Agreement?
Man, I don't know.
What do you think about climate change?
It's bad.
Donald Trump! Do you think our government is doing enough about climate?
No.
Jesus. Do you know what the Paris Agreement is?
No.
Hell. Think about climate change.
We need to do something about it.
All right. Do you
It's
think our
destroying
government?
our environment?
Do you think our government is doing enough about it?
They're on the right track. I wouldn't say they're doing enough.
But just yeah. All right. I got you. What is the Paris Climate Agreement?
I'm not sure. I think it has something to do with fashion and designer clothing. No,
What do you think about climate change?
I think that it's really important.
Do you think our government is doing enough about climate change?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Do you know what the Paris Climate Agreement is?
No.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah. What do you think about climate change?
I think it's fake.
Good answer, good answer. Do you think our government is doing enough about climate change?
Since it's fake, they're doing plenty.
Do you know what the Paris Agreement is?
No, that's probably fake too.
What we found out during our interviews was that many of them didn't know what the Paris Agreement was. The Paris Agreement was 55 countries that joined together to figure out what they can do about global warming.
Do you believe in global warming?
I do.
Do you think media affects people's views
On global warming? Yeah, I think it does. It kind of depends, though. The thing that's happening with media these days is we have so many different options, and what people tend to do is find media that validates their own thoughts and beliefs already.
Up here bashing it because I don't like gay people. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
Hurricane Schmurricane, if I may.
This one says about tornadoes. It's the same thing. Yeah, sea level is rising, although it's retracted. It's increasing at a slower rate over the past few years. We've had Arctic ice globally increasing.
Data. I think
no, not absolutely.
Why did this all come out?
But Bill, isn't it a problem?
So, you know, for example, myself, if I believe in global warming, then I tend to find media outlets that agree with that point of view. So it's like reinforcing what I already believe.
Yeah.
And the same thing is true for climate change deniers who don't believe that it's a problem. They're gonna seek out sites and sources that verify what they believe.
Do you think that some people take it to the extreme, like some of the like far left people are like take global warming too seriously, and then also on the same side on the right that people think it's like extreme on that?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like a pretty serious issue with increasing temperatures and ice caps melting and water levels rising, people are going to lose the places that they live. There, settlements that are below sea level or right at sea level. It seems like a pretty serious situation for people that live there. So I don't think that it can really be blown out of proportion at this point. I think we're past that.
And then last question, why are there people that don't believe in global warming?
Why are there people?
Well, why would someone be a denier?
I don't know. I think it's somewhat political. You can kind of trace it. So say there's a media outlet that puts out information that climate change is not real. If you look at who backs that media organization and maybe the political contacts that are associated with it, it could be that it's funded by oil companies or and those oil companies, they influence politicians, and the politicians are friends with the producers of news, and because it becomes politicized and there's a lot of money at stake. Oil companies stand to lose a lot of money if people get off fossil fuels as a dependence. If they're not dependent on fossil fuels for sources of energy, then they're going to lose a lot of money. So I think that's the reason why people that access those news sources that don't believe in climate change, that's why they might feel that way.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about what will happen in the future if we don't do anything about global warming. In 2020, flash floods will very likely increase across all parts of Europe. Less rainfall could reduce agriculture yields by up to 50% in some parts of the world. In 2050, small alpine glaciers will very likely disappear completely, and large glaciers will shrink by 30 to 70%. Since most of us will live to 2080, some parts of the world will dry out, others will be inundated. Scientists predict up to 20% of the world's population live in river basins, likely to be affected by increased flood hazards. Up to 100 million people could experience coastal flooding each year. Most at the risk are densely populated and low-lying areas that are less able to adapt to rising sea levels and areas which already face other challenges such as tropical storms. Coastal population could balloon to 5 billion people, up from 1.2 billion in 1990. Between 1.1 and 3.2 billion people will experience water shortages, and up to 600 million will go hungry. Sea levels could rise around New York City by more than 3 feet, potentially flooding the Rockaways, Coney Island, much of southern Brooklyn and Queens, portions of Long Island City, Astoria, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens, Lower Manhattan, and eastern Staten Island from Great Kills Harbor north to the Verrazano Narrow Bridge. As global warming becomes more of a problem, someone needs to fix it. It's up to us millennials to fix and keep our Earth alive and healthy.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, say it. Just keep recording and then I'll edit it. Just say, climate change is nonstop.
What am I saying? Climate change is nonstop. Climate change is nonstop.
No, don't laugh.
No, don't laugh. But don't look at me. Oh wait.
Where do I look?
Yeah. Okay, look straight in the camera, like dead eyes.
Climate change is nonstop.
Yeah.